An excerpt I'm going to read is from my short story called Madison House. So here goes. The recounting of events at Madison House is based on a true story. Names have been changed to protect all parties involved. Kendra Lawson sat at the kitchen table and her cell phone rang just as she was taking her last bite of dinner. She chewed and swallowed the food quickly. "Hello?" she answered hesitantly. "Hi, Kendra. I hope I didn't catch you at a bad time. It's Lisa, the HR manager at Children's Sanctuary. We would like to offer you the position of house parent," she informed. Kendra was ecstatic. She didn't quite know how to react. "That would be great, thank you," she belted. "Wonderful. Please come to the office this Thursday. You'll receive education in CPR and safety essentials before you receive your assignment." "Welcome aboard," Lisa added. In the weeks that followed, Kendra had received formal training and certification. She is now ready for her assignment at Madison House, one of the 20 group homes within the sizable company. The Children's Sanctuary serviced kids in the system awaiting adoption or remained in the residence until they aged out at 18. Many of the kids had severe behavioral and mental health issues. Kendra was thrilled to start her first week. The job consisted of sharing the living quarters with 6 girls, ranging in age from 12 to 17 years old. There, Kendra will provide meals for the children, supervise them with taking their medication, transport them to medical and therapy appointments, provide activities and recreation, and ensure that they attended school. The job was involved, to say the least, but Kendra was up for the challenge. She was also happy to be using her skills and degree in psychology. The drive to the home in Royerton, Pennsylvania was about 45 minutes from where she lived in Philadelphia. The Victorian house was rather large and ominous, with a wraparound porch and visible outdoor cellar. The 2-car garage was separate from the home and used to store holiday decor and seasonal sports equipment. A slight chill in the air went down Kendra's spine as she lugged her suitcase onto the veranda. She was greeted by her coworker, who was wearing a hijab. Her gruff disposition was off-putting, but knowing Kendra, she can get along with anyone. "Hi, Miss Kendra. I'm Miss Rosalind," she said, introducing herself. "Hello, Miss Rosalind. It's a pleasure to meet you," Kendra responded. When Kendra entered the house's interior, she peered around, noticing the dark wooden beams and fixtures. The air around her felt heavy. She quickly dismissed it as first-day jitters. Her coworker introduced Kendra to the teens, who were less than interested when she tried to greet them. Rosalind spent a few days training Kendra about the house rules and children's routines. Kendra was a quick study, and she was able to maneuver her new job with ease. When Rosalind left, Kendra began to experience strange events within the home in the days that followed. She would put items down, and they would vanish, only to be found in an odd place later. Kendra noticed cold spots in the home, like the hallway, children's rooms, dining hall, 3rd floor, and cellar. Every time she did laundry, it felt as though she was being watched. As time went by and the youth became more comfortable with their new house parent, they were inclined to have Kendra do in-home activities like cards, movies, board games, etc. It wasn't easy during the winter months, and the children couldn't go to many places. However, Kendra was creative and planned fun things to do indoors. One evening after dinner, she thought that it would be an excellent time to play hide and clap. She saw it in a movie once and thought it would be fun. It was a game of hide and seek. However, the person who hides must clap, and the blindfolded person who's it must find them based on their clapping. As to not have any accidents, Kendra guided a blindfolded child as the other children hid. Anya, who was 16 years old, smart aleck, presumed alpha of the bunch, was the first to play. "Okay, give me the first clap," Anaya yelled. She heard the clap coming from the room upstairs. As Kendra and Anya ascended the creaking wooden staircase, Anya paused. "Second clap," she shouted. They crept carefully down the hall, and right away, Anya knew where the clap was coming from. She shifted with her arm remaining interlocked with Kendra's. They proceeded to the last room on the left by the stairs. When they entered, Kendra led Anya around the twin bed. Kendra felt a hand touch her foot and quickly whispered to Anya that the hiding child was under the bed. Anya removed her blindfold and turned on the lights while Kendra went to the other side of the bed. "Gotcha, Gardina," Kendra said confidently. Kendra's face froze when she realized no child could fit under the bed, let alone the smallest child, Gardina. It was a sleigh bed with wooden panels on each side. Kendra immediately ended the game. The children were disappointed and expressed their anger with Kendra. It was getting late. She ordered them upstairs to get ready for bed, and she went to the office, sleeping quarters, to finish her nightly notes. Kendra couldn't shake the feeling that something touched her foot. She knew it wasn't her imagination. Unknown to many, Kendra could see and sense the paranormal ever since she was a little girl. When Kendra was 13 years old, she went to Jamaica to visit her family. Her grandmother, Nan, told Kendra that she was born with a veil. This gift, as Nan called it, was special. Nan had the sight as well, and her mother before her. Kendra sat thinking about her grandmother. She also thought about the haunted childhood home and her previous job several years ago where she had seen things there too. It seemed that ghosts were now becoming a fixture in her life whether she wanted them there or not. She prayed that her place of work wasn't haunted. After Kendra completed her rounds and the children were safe, she noticed the light was on in the basement. She heard pounding coming from the dryer. Figuring one of the kids was drying their sneakers, she opened the dryer, and to her dismay, it was empty. In the rear of the basement was a boiler room. It once served as slave quarters hundreds of years ago, and it was visible in the back of the cellar. Kendra could feel something watching her as icy tingles rippled over the back of her neck and spine. She quickly closed the dryer and headed upstairs. At this point, she was convinced that there was a spirit in the house. Early Friday morning, one of the children got sick. It was the house parents' responsibility to take the child to urgent care. It had snowed the night before, so Kendra went to warm the van and scrape the snow and ice from the windows. When she sat in the driver's seat, her eyes widened as she saw a shadowy gray figure in the rear view. It was seated in the front row. It misted and then dissipated. Kendra's hands and feet trembled. Her thoughts abruptly broke as the children loaded into the van. After the appointment, they returned to Madison House. She was scheduled to leave the next day so her counterpart could go on shift. However, Kendra was informed by her supervisor, Carlos, that she had to remain at Madison House until they found coverage. Kendra was miffed and wanted to leave. She was exhausted and creeped out. Another few days passed and Kendra had to do a complete walkthrough of the house. There was something about the third floor which was troubling. Her heart raced as she climbed the stairs. She always checked the third floor in the evenings before the sun went down. This evening was different. There had been a blackout. She retrieved flashlights from the emergency kit and gathered the children in one room as she made her rounds. She provided them nightly meds and sent them to their rooms, each with a flashlight. Kendra opened the door to the rooms on the third floor. It was relatively empty except for some mattresses resting against the tan-colored wall and a few box air conditioners on the floor. There was another cold spot in the room, and her flashlight began to die. Kendra shook it furiously and rushed out of the room, locking it behind her. As she reached the rung of the stairs in the second floor, she could hear the girls in the hallway. They were riled up and agitated from the blackout. They complained about not having power or Wi-Fi. Kendra asked them to be patient while she contacted the power company. She called ECO, and they assured her that the electricity would return at 11 p.m. It was a little after 7 p.m. when one of the girls ran downstairs to the office. "Miss Kendra, there's something in my room," Tiana said nervously, running her plump fingers through her thick, curly hair. Kendra's heart sank. She followed the teen back to her room to inspect. "What did you see?" Kendra asked. "I don't know. It was a shadow," she said. Kendra knew what Tiana was referring to, but she didn't want to upset the children and cause them panic. Tiana became emotional. She begged to sleep in the living room. Kendra allowed it after she completed her notes and finished her rounds. Afterward, she laid in bed staring at the flashlight. She called her boyfriend and spoke to him for a while. She didn't want the call to end, but it was late and he had to be up early for work. So did Kendra. She eventually went to bed. The next few days seemed to crawl. Kendra wanted to go back to her own home. She was growing anxious with no word from Carlos. Finally, she received a call from her supervisor. He informed her that her coworker Rosalind would not return to Madison House. She had received another assignment at Haven House. "Okay, so when is my relief coming?" she questioned. "I wasn't prepared to stay longer than a week," she added. Carlos assured Kendra that he was working on the issue. Kendra was pissed. She was now stuck at her place of work due to their poor planning. Okay, so I'm going to stop here because I want you to get your very own copy of Corrogatio After Dark.